Hey guys, Rod here at A Better Way to Farm. Happy first Saturday in January. As you guys know, it is our goal to spend every waking minute figuring out how to make 2019 a better year for you. We just had the honor, the pleasure, the good time of being in Sioux Falls on Thursday and Friday. I got home early this morning and put everything away and worked at my desk a little bit, had some time to reflect there in the middle of the night, so to speak. And I was thinking about what I was going to talk about today, and it was this: why the right K matters. And we do have a gift for you guys at the end of this. But it was interesting because as we were setting through the 2 days up there, there was new data that's coming out, new slides being shown on research that's being done at the university level talking about potassium, talking about the importance of potassium, how much more K these new hybrids take, how important it is to get K into the plant early. But the one that caught my eye the most was the one that talked about the relationship between using potassium chloride and the uptake of phosphorus. As we know, one nutrient impacts lots of other nutrients, and lots of other nutrients impact that nutrient. So there's been a bunch of research done here at the university level where they were studying different kinds of potassium and how using those in different ways impacted how much phosphorus would go into the corn plant. And the amount of reduction from using potassium chloride was pretty significant, about half. So why do we want to use a product that's in a form that will reduce the amount of phosphorus we can get into the plant? As you guys know, as we did our 12 nutrients, we talked again and again and again about the relationship and how a lot of the authors of the different books we were reading were talking about the fact that the more we use, the more we need. The more double aught 60 we put on, the more 1846O and the more nitrogen it takes to get the job done. And the next year we put on some more, so it takes more of the other. And we just keep needing more and more and more and more and more. And yeah, there have been some people who've chosen to say that they don't agree with us, and that's the cool part about this country. I love this country. You don't have to agree on everything. Hopefully we can disagree civilly. But when we look at these tests that are being ran, it's hard to argue those. That when we use the wrong form of potassium, we reduce the amount of phosphorus we can shove into the plant. Why do we want to do that? Last night I was driving across Iowa, and it must have been close to midnight. I was talking with Charles, the guy that owns our company, and I said, to me, one of the things I think that makes me the saddest about this whole nation is all of the times that people want to argue with the laws of nature. And we see it everywhere. I would like to go on record and say the founders of this country were geniuses. There's a reason that they have our Constitution the way it is. We need to leave it alone. There's a reason they set up the Electoral College. We need to leave it alone. They knew what they were doing, but we want to argue about those things. We want to argue, we see it at the local level. Little Johnny won't practice. Little Johnny has limited talent. Little Johnny won't work. But mommy and daddy just yell and scream and throw a fit. Little Johnny should be a starter. He should start on the varsity team. That's not the laws of nature. We want to argue and say if we scream the loudest, even sometimes we can get the most votes, but getting the most votes doesn't change the laws of nature. It doesn't change what's true. I use the old example of gravity. We can all get together, 10 million of us can vote, and we can vote that we don't believe in gravity anymore and gravity doesn't exist. And yet if I go up on top of my house and I jump off, even though we voted that we don't believe in gravity and gravity doesn't exist, it's still a law of nature. And when I jump off, I'm going to fall. That's the way it works. We got people who want to argue the laws of nature and the laws of chemistry. And they want to say that any potassium is okay. And not okay is okay. All right? The bottom line, folks, is this: it does make a difference what we do. And it is very important that we get the right form of potassium in the field, and especially if we're using a starter fertilizer, we very much need to have the right form in there. And that better be potassium hydroxide if we're going to do anything. And I think the jury is officially outdone. They have come back, they have decided that if we're doing some kind of a NP0K, we're missing the boat. Yes, that corn plant needs phosphorus early, but it needs more potassium than it needs phosphorus in the first 50 days. Let's make sure we're providing that. Let's make sure we're letting it be available. Let's make sure it's in the form that helps the plant. Let's make sure that it's in the form that doesn't suppress the amount of phosphorus we can get into. Let's make sure our potassium is helping us use our phosphorus, helping us use our nitrogen, not hindering us. And so that's one of the things we spend quite a bit of time on in Sioux Falls. And ladies and gentlemen, I would love, we are going to be in Dublin, Ohio, Monday and Tuesday. The following Monday and Tuesday, we're going to be in Kearney, Nebraska. The following after that, on Wednesday, we're going to drive to South Bend, Indiana. We're going to be doing these all over. And the bottom line is we would love to meet you at one of these 2-day agronomy trainings so that you can figure out how to make an extra 15 to 50 bucks an acre. That's the deal. Now, we have a free gift for you we're going to talk about here in just a second. I need a favor. I would take it as a personal favor if you would tag a friend, share this video. We're wanting to bump the numbers up here. Karen's got us, we're at about 77,800 followers, and we appreciate each and every one of you, and they are worldwide. But we'd appreciate it if you would tag a friend, share the video, let someone else know we're out here, and share the information with them, someone that you think might be interested. So here's the free gift. I have an article that was sent to me. Brad, I'd like to say thank you. A big shout out to Brad. He sent me an email. It's got a great article that was written by someone else talking exactly about this, about why a certain form of potassium might not be as good as another form. And it's a third party, another person saying it. But if you'd like to read that, and it's actually was distributed by a fertilizer broker. So he'll sell anything under the sun, but he was saying this is the one I think you ought to be using. And I think it would be great information for you. So here's what you do. You send a private message to us here on the Facebook page with your email address, and Karen will email that article back to you. No charge, free gift, because we really appreciate you guys. That being said, I hope you're having a wonderful weekend, and I hope you have a better tomorrow.